Now, this theory was sort of hanging around in the fandom for a little bit. It's this theory that people really don't talk about that much, but it's there in other words. The one that I'm actually talking about is basically if peace actually is the evil of beings, then Black Hat organizations are basically the good guys. The reason why people think of this, or at least this sort of idea come out, even that you could poke it in the stick in this third theory breaks a little bit, is because how interesting and could be truthful into the show, but at the very end, it's sort of against what being Black Hat says, sort of the things, especially with the comics and the lore itself. But other than that, that was sort of making it sort of interesting how Peace are basically the bad guys and Black Hat Organization are the good guys. How that happened, how that actually is possible. Before I get started, my name is Retro. I like to talk about animation. Not just animation. I like to do reviews, first impression, cartoon news, cartoon theories, and whatever animation I can get my hands on. Of course, if you like where this is going, you like support my channel, put like, a comment, and subscribe. One of those things really helps my channel to be bigger, better than ever. Because let's face it, I'm a small channel. Even little things really helps my channel to be bigger and better. But other than that, let's start with a theory. Now, this theory is sort of interesting because how they post how peace actually works. Because peace actually just cares about the product, something like the boys. Because the boys universe, they want to create a hero they sell like a product, and peace does this exact same thing. They created a product. They chose someone who has abilities or doesn't have abilities, break them down, train them to see how they easily be manipulated, because all the heroes they chose, they may have egos, maybe they don't know what they're doing. A lot of things you sort of question why people believe peace are actually evil, because how easily they manipulate people they actually have. And it also makes interesting sense how product placement they actually are. Not just Miss we don't know the other characters do the same thing, but at the same time, it kind of does make sense because in the show, one of the biggest kind of information dumps is sort of online, be Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. So it's just sort of interesting that is could be possible how manipulate liars they really are to use these people from their own gain, especially what happened to Missy, how she was manipulated and used, not just her Sunblast, because with Sunblast you get a little story of his own miniseries, how he was sort of kind of molded becoming the hero, but not molded the right way, because at the very end he would have never cared about saving people or just caring beating up villains just because he can. He never was sort of taught the proper way, the mental way to become an honest hero. He just, we train you, take down bad guys. And that's it. And that's what I mean. Like, it's more you keep breaking down, looking to other heroes on within the universe, the more you realize, or at least question, what they're actually doing in peace organization. Who is in charge to training them besides maybe one character in the mini comic called the Coach, that he is, don't know what he is, but he is one of the trainers. But other than that, we don't know in general what was the specific training or how they trained them to actually do their job correctly. In fact, they do point out they do train people to sell, to make product picks, to make the next basically product. But make this so interesting, villainous or Black Hat organization feels sort of the opposite, because they're looking for people who are desperate, who want more power to defeat their evil counterpart, but at the same time, that's the same people who used to work with peace or sort of or part of peace or something like that, and they want justice, and the hero way is always feeling betrayed, lied, or being harassed. They're becoming sort of the hero type, and Black Hat offers them, but not the ordinary hero, more like the anti-hero or anti-villain. If you don't know what I'm talking about, anti-villain is basically a villain who tries to do good things but do horrible things. Anti-hero is the same thing but a little different. A hero does good things but also the horrible things because it depends on the person. But at the very end, it's sort of necessary. But to be fair, that's why I sort of put them as sort of kind of like an anti-hero or anti-villain because at the very end they are looking for vengeance but at the same time justice, and that's the whole point of being a hero because there is need to be justice. And I feel that's sort of interesting because once again they sort of kind of go against what Black Hat says in his monologue, his introduction, that he just want to help the villain to be the villain, but at the same time you could reinterpret it a little differently for one simple reason that Black Cat actually is not human, not from around here. He's not from Earth. He's from outer space. So his interpretation of a villain could be a hero, and a hero could be a villain. So that makes a lot of more sense the more you keep thinking about it, how Black Hat organization actually works. Even though he does horrific things and he's a monster, but yet again, maybe that's how his culture actually works. We just honestly we don't know because we don't have enough information about Black Hat. But at the same time, Black Hat will work with you even though you can't pay your own payment because at the very end, Black Hat wants a soul, but you can't deliver a soul. He will compromise with something else, your talents, your time, or you just be a henchman to basically pay your payments. Once again, it's something you found that sort of interesting. The only way to do that is if you want to help someone basically become the better version. At least that's how you chose, or at least I chose to interpret it, because the more you keep thinking about it, the more it kind of making sense, but at the same time, not really, because it shows Black Hat doesn't have a heart, he doesn't care, he just a monster because he likes being evil. But it's one of those things that kind of makes you think. This is what I mean. Maybe because it doesn't have much meaning of this theory, you can actually just throw it away, or that's just a neat idea. But this neat idea is actually kind of fascinating because being a villain, you get multiple chances, never giving up, always going to the next step. Even that you knowing you will lose something of this next assignment or next test or next one more time take this hero once again, but that is the call of the hero. That's never giving up, always giving 110%. And peace is almost like, oh, just do your job. That's it. They don't go in the lore or the creed or anything. And that's why I found it fascinating, because this theory sounds more true, or at least semi-true. Once more, you can poke a stick on it, it breaks down. But at the same time, it just sort of makes sense, especially how everything goes in this sort of universe, because you want to know more to see if this is possible, because some of the villains are basically tragic people who were sometimes wrong place at the wrong time, or could be working on the peace side but got betrayed, becoming villains. Because it's very easy Black Hat can pick someone in the peace organization because he's all seeing eye. At least we think he is. Once more, we don't know how extent his true power really is, but yet the more you think about it, yeah, it makes sense, because most of the people who are basically damaged or broken is come from peace, like Missy, that she used to be in a sort of black organization, but not really. She was sort of in the roster that she decided to portray them, become peace, but her own deal. But yet, the more you keep thinking about it, it could be a possibility. It has so much potential. In fact, how you feel about this sort of theory? You think it's sort of interesting, you actually could work in the series, or you think it's just a very fun, out there kind of theory that you kind of want it to be true, but you can will be sort of a AU in the fandom, nothing else? To me, I really do maybe hopefully they do explore this, not make it canon, just sort of explore this with a different character that maybe they think well they're getting what they actually wanted. That could be kind of fun treat idea if they want to play with this sort of theory. But other than that, the more I keep thinking about it, the more honestly it's just I kind of want it to be true, at least a little bit, at least an episode or a comic. But other than that, I can't really say much. Just one question: how you felt about this theory? Do you like it? Do you hate it? You think this theory has a possibility to actually work? Or give me your theory down below. Honestly, I got nothing else to say. Just thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and have a wonderful day. Bye.